And howdy do, y'all. Oh, the smell of basil and honey in a beer. I'm not kidding. Oh, wow. Wow. This is very interesting, unique, and surprising and refreshing beer from Piney River is their hobby farm. It is, it's canned on 5/20/14, so we're not too old. Hobby Farm. It is their seasonal here, brewed with honey and basil. And they explain a little bit about that on their website, why they did that way. Because out here in Missouri, many folks, hobby farms and just folks like me will grow basil. And you can find a lot of places for local honey. This uses wildflower honey and basil. And, wow. You can smell the honey and the basil on the nose, which is a little odd, I suppose, to some. Honey is an unusual ingredient. Here, I have some fresh basil here. I just, right now, picked off a plant that we have grown. And and there is nothing like the smell of fresh basil. It's absolutely beautiful. And most folks grow some basil. We grow a couple different varieties, but this is just a sweet basil here, which I imagine what is in this beer. But the honey and the basil are apparent on the nose. And they come at you in the flavor as well, and in a beautiful way. I think a flavor like basil, well, in anything, even when you're using it savory in your sauces and such, if you use too much, it can be overwhelming. But when it's used just right, it's absolutely beautiful. Because, I mean, this here, the smell of fresh basil, I actually smell in this beer, and that's just amazing. Oh. It's just different. It is surprisingly crisp, it's surprisingly refreshing, and it works on every level, and that's surprising to me. It is a nice alternative to various summer beers. I mean, you see a lot of, of course, there's always been the Pilsner, which is nice when it's very hot. There's my basil. Put my basil up there on my beer. Of course, there's Saisons, there's various IPAs. I've been drinking just a ton of IPAs because I find that the bitter hops, very refreshing on a hot day. But this is just a whole different direction. It's 5%. They don't give me the IBUs. Probably inconsequential in a beer like this, but there's enough there to give it that crisp, clean, slightly dry finish that you want. To keep it from being cloying. Again, you certainly smell the basil, you can certainly taste it, but it just doesn't become overwhelming at any point. I think people that even might necessarily be fans of basil might enjoy this because of just the different flavor profile it has. I think just people that enjoy craft beer in general are going to like this beer. So one of the things I like about this particular brewery is their sensibilities and their brewing philosophy. Their tap room is just unbelievable to visit because they're so incredibly friendly. The owners are just awesome folks. But it's just that they're brewing with a different sensibility than many are. There are a lot of breweries that are being very trendy right now, and as soon as one brewery pops out with the style, another brewery pops out with the style. Somebody puts hog shit in a beer. Next thing you know, everybody's got a hog shit in a beer. It's that kind of thing. But this brewery doesn't do that. They kind of march to their own drum. They've got a beer made with dates and chipotle. The hot date is beautiful. Then of course there's this one with basil and honey. Their sweet potato ale that they came out in the fall is incredible. When most folks are going to the pumpkin, they went sweet potato because that is that's a kind of a Midwest, it's a Missouri thing. We love our sweet potatoes out here. So I guess I'm losing my point here, but anyway, needless to say, I love the brewery for a lot of reasons because they don't try to be like anybody else but themselves, and I think that's what's going to make them successful. Is they're not trying to be another craft brewery. They're doing what they like. They're doing it with incredible quality, and they're doing everything just amazingly well, and they know how to treat folks that understand and appreciate their beer. So there you go. Piney River Hobby Farm. It's awesome, man.